Now, today we're taking a look at the oversized knockoff Bumblebee from KBB. They named their product KBB MP21 Plus with die-cast metal. Now, when I was a kid, I actually did not have many Transformer toys. The only toy I had was this one. This is a hubcap from Generation 1. Now, when I was a kid and my parents promised me to buy a Transformer toy, we went to the toy store and Bumblebee was like sold out completely. And I was not aware that this was not Bumblebee. I thought it's Bumblebee back then. So I was fooled when I revealed the head. I was like, this doesn't look like Bumblebee, but I can live with that. It's just a majority of the actual figure looks like Bumblebee in the cartoon that I remembered. So normally I don't do Transformer toy review, but this time around, Bumblebee was such a special figure for me. So I decided to go with that review. Now, compared to the actual masterpiece, these logo, by the way, I actually lost the rub symbol and I have these symbols that are attached to it. So these figures for me were very special. However, when this first came out, it doesn't really shout out this Bumblebee there in my heart. The vehicle, yes, is very genuine, authentic to the Volkswagen Beetles. However, in the movie, it doesn't look like this. It looks more like this, or the actual cartoony look of the Volkswagen Beetles. So this doesn't really shout out the masterpiece Bumblebee for me. Besides, this head, this face sculpt looks like Unicron, just like that one. It's like a tiny version of Unicron. And we're spoiled with now the Transformer design with all the rubber tires, die-cast metal, and all that. So this, and this, and this. Yes, I bought all that from the official line. However, none of these figures actually really fulfill my feeling for seeking for the Bumblebee, the nostalgia value that I was looking for. So this time around, when I get that, and by the way, the amazing part of this thing is that I live in Beijing right now, and that package, which is huge compared to this one, it's a huge box, including shipping. The price is 66 RMB. If you calculate the exchange rate, it's like $9.70 for that figure with the huge box. So let's crack the box open to see what's inside of the box. Now, first off the box, the photo, another photo of the figure. It says Beetle Wasp. So it's kind of one kind of a Beetles. And on the back, it says the accessories, radar display figure, and a few battle mask, I guess. And this says very precious Bumblebee die-cast metal, KBB Bumblebee Transformers, literally in Chinese. KBB 21 Plus, another photo shoot. And on the top, it says the same thing. On the bottom, this looks almost like a masterpiece box from the bottom. I like this box. Seriously, actually, with the price less than $10, you get a decent box with the plastic window box. Now, this is amazing, right? And here, you can see this rod. It really amazed me. We're going to talk this up a little bit. This, I thought, was the bow staff for the Monkey King. But actually, this is the actual anagram rod from the first episode of a Transformer cartoon. So let's get this open. KBB models H6 and Plus. It comes in greenish clamshell with all the accessories. If you ask me, this is a waste of space. You don't need this much space just for the accessories. However, it's nice to have a decent huge box, right? Now, take it out from the tray. Let's take a look. Now, radar dishes. There are 6 of them. You can just combine 2 of these onto the radar and 2 face plates, a gun. This, I believe, is their original design. That these are not like the official design or attached to it, and there's a ball joint here to connect these bits. We'll take a look at this later. Paint job, okay, but it's just simple and thin and hollow. A pistol, same sculpt, black compared to this one. Just a blown up version of it. Their radar. I believe this is from some other third-party company design, and you can just get these things plugged in like that. Let's do something without symmetry, like so. Okay, interesting. Faceplate, the happy face. Very thick paint, decent paint job. Battle mask. By the way, the figure came with this battle mask, and I already changed this standard face on it. This little tab that taps onto the tire. And this very tiny little walkie-talkie you can mount on Bumblebee's forearm. And finally, oh, before that, the bow staff for Donatello, or the Monkey King, or the Energon Rod. You see, they sculpted these things that really is like those carvings on the Monkey King's bow staff. For that sake, I actually bought him over. The size, probably a little too big for Donatello, or Donatello 1988. Actually, I believe it should really work with this Donatello. Aha. It seriously will work, I guess. Doesn't hold securely, but it fits. Thank you, Donnie. Now, onto the figure. Pretty heavy, or should I say really very heavy. Now, the paint job it's not perfect. It's not perfect in terms of, as you can already see the color difference, which is an easy way to tell that which part is metal and which is plastic. Now, this a little bit lighter yellowish color is metal part. So this is metal. By the way, this Autobot logo is my temporary solution. I wanted to have a shinier one, but just wanted to have a feel of what does it look like when it has a logo on it. And this door part, this is metal. This is a plastic painted. And this is metal. And they changed the logo to K. I believe that represented KBB. So is the logo on the hubcap. This will be the actual hubcap. Pretty heavy. Not so gappy, I guess. It's really heavy. Let's just pan down the camera a little bit. Okay. Rolls very well, very steady because of the heft of the car. Really heavy. So it runs not perfectly smooth. Let's see. This rolls okay. This is okay. A little bit wobbly, the front tire. but it was okay. But the thing about this is that when it's actually blown up to an oversized car, it looks better in person. Probably from the photo, you cannot really tell too much of a difference between this one and the official one, especially in photo, but in person, man, this looks really very nice. And when you have the heft to it, when you have rubber tire and all that quality, it feels way better in hand. The window, basically, they recreated with the very same color. And because this is die-cast part, is the metal part, they kind of canceled this flip logo part. And they didn't paint this logo here, the car manufacturer logo. The headlight, this is a little bit greenish tint to it. This is translucent. From the side, very much the same. Handle not painted well enough on this side. On this side, it's okay. Actually, this one has more details compared to that. From the back of the vehicle, this is a translucent tail light, and this is painted red. And of course, you can change to that tab if you want. So that's the car mode comparison. So pretty big compared to the original one. I believe it's about 1.5 size in comparison. But it's fully painted, like the official, looks really nice. Oh, there's one huge difference. That is the mirrors. So in the official packaging from the Takara, you have one mount that you can actually have this rear mirror mounted, side mirror mounted on this, but not on this side, because I looked it up on Google. The official car really has just one on this side. But here you have two on both sides. And I don't think they're removable. But that's about it. Now I will skip the transformation partially. The reason why partially, because I transformed it once and I encountered some trouble, and that's something that is worth noting. So I'll transform halfway, and I will stop at where you needed to take note about, and then we just compare in the robot mode. Now here is what we needed to take extra attention to. Now this flap here. Now this flap have to be inserted over in here. Let me change the angle of the camera just for a little bit. Pan it up. Okay. All right, so this flap needed to be inserted, folded in, and insert into this slot in under the belly. I'm not sure how do we actually view this. So basically it goes into that. Now the problem with this gap here, which you insert this in, is that it's too tight. So as you can see, there are screw holes. That one, let me borrow this. There's screw hole in here and up in there. You need to loosen it just about a turn. Just one turn will be able to actually release the tension between the gap and let this flap fold in properly. So that's how you actually, as you can actually see here, it's a little bit, the tolerance or this is not wide enough for this flap to actually go in. So that's the part that we needed to take more attention to, or you probably need to borrow your somebody's screwdriver to really go in, because it's rather deep in these 1-2 screw holes, and that's it. Okay, now we all transformed up into robot mode. Now this figure has a proper balance on the weight. I think I was wondering that why don't they just go full metal on like every part? Like why this part is not metal, but only here? Why this is metal, but that is not? Now I think I get that design. I get that design decision because this part has a little bit more of a rotation that requires a little bit plastic feature to actually rotate. And these hinges, if they're like metal, now that's plastic, metal, and plastic. If they're full metal, this will be really very intense in terms of transforming those hinges, folding those hinges. So basically, transformed up into robot figure. Let's invite this Bumblebee into comparison. Now, the changes. Of course, the most obvious one is that they kind of cancel this flip logo design. And now, not a lot of changes, including the hollowness over here. The fist is not fully articulated. It's still just that hole for the for holding the gun. Now, two joints are basically changed. The first one is this. It's ratcheted, pretty heavy. And another is the knee. Comparatively, it's softer ratchet, but it's ratcheted, which is really very good. Now, the rest of the joint is still friction, but pretty tight, like this. And that's about it. That's about the changes in the actual robot mode. And let's see about the accessories, the kind of important one. Now, this one kind of goes on to the back. Let's first see the differences. Now, they kind of just redesigned these to make the backpack look longer, I guess. They basically took the design, the main shape of it, and kind of make it slimmer, I guess. And then they made this top two parts attached to it, and rather than just one piece on the official one, they have two other like lower strap to strap onto the waist. So to attach that onto the figure, there are these two things that you can clap on like so. And then just wrap it around the waist to snap these two slot on. From one here, one from here. And then the top part clip on. Oh, I forgot to take off the tire. I'm sorry, my apology. That's why I didn't get to put it on. Oh. Hope I didn't break anything. Now it goes on like that. Very simple, straightforward. And looks okay. If we compare to the original, people don't play Transformer toys a lot, might just see that they're identical, but they just have some tiny little differences. Besides, this is silver, this is black, with a lighter silver over the top, with a lighter silver over the top. So that's about it. I think to purchase the blown up version of the figures, the important part really is that it fits in some other scales sometime. Now, this one in robot mode is almost twice as tall compared to the original ones. So I guess, well, in robot mode, the color difference is not so obvious anymore because with the black breaking out the figure instead of overall complete, very complete whole yellowish car, this looks less pronounced. You won't tell that there are color difference between the metal part and the plastic part. Now onto the scaling. These three figures are from different companies, but somehow, strangely, they kind of agreed to a scale that everybody could follow. When MPP10 was first available in 2015, it made a big sale. And I guess that's when people start to see that the real value and how they can make a profit out of some other people's design, Takara Tomy or Hasbro, and improve on those design and come with a better build. Seriously, I have to, probably this is my personal opinion, but I have to admit that I see these knockoffs, they all share higher quality, they all share some die-cast metal rubber tie features across the board, even though they're from different companies. And they scale way better than how the original scaled. Now, the original Takara Tomy figures, I believe they kind of followed a reasonable scale among the vehicles. And they're trying to balance the robot mode and vehicle mode into a proper scaling in these two modes. But for us collectors especially, we probably don't display our figures in vehicle mode. It's more important to have a proper figure scale in the robot mode. So if we wanted to see the original, like if MP10 was the scale standard, Sideswipe is a little bit way too short. And so is Bumblebee. Now, Sideswipe is just about waistline, now blown up to the shoulder. Bumblebee just around the thigh, now it's about the waistline, just below the waistline. That's how I like it. That's how I remembered it. That's how I think it's appropriate to have such a scale. So overall, some final thoughts. I really love the figure. I think the build is great. The price is unbelievable. And if you're into blown up figures, if you really like metal parts, die cast, rubber tires and everything, I believe this Bumblebee really worth the money. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.